Hiya, Shane. It's been a bit of an up and down week for you. Just fill us in on the latest if you can, please. Obviously, there was that news that broke on Monday where you were reported to the BHA for missing a breath test at Kempton, since which you came out and said you had hemorrhoids. Have the BHA been in touch, and how's your health now at the minute?
Yeah, I've been bleeding on and off for the last 2 weeks, and it's a little bit embarrassing, but obviously I'm going to keep riding, and I have cream and stuff for it. So hopefully it'll clear itself up then. Obviously, it was a good end to last week with four winners, and I missed a couple on Monday. And I knew that I wouldn't have great opportunities the middle of this week. So it was nice to get a double yesterday, and hopefully now we'll be able to keep the momentum going for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it was good to see you riding back so quickly, and like you say, a nice double at Salisbury on Wednesday. The new Sentry, he looks a lovely horse.
He is, yeah. He worked very nicely on Saturday morning. Actually, before I went to Newmarket, I rode him on the grass. He's obviously by Kameko, so there are plenty of similarities between him and his sire. Very tough and carry their heads and low. And he has a few up. He could go to Kentucky. There's a valuable race out there, or maybe the Royal Lodge, or maybe even Canada. There's a Grade 1 in Canada that I think Charlie Appleby normally sends horses to over a mile. So we'll just weigh all that up. But he's a lovely horse, and delighted for the stallion.
Yeah, really interesting that he might have international targets. I was going to ask you how high do you think he can fly this season, but it sounds like you think he can fly pretty high.
Yeah, if you compare him to Kameko, he's bred to stay a bit further, and he's improving week on week. So he's taking his work great, and touch wood, he's very sound. So yeah, he's a horse we like.
How do you think he'd handle sort of typically softer autumn ground if he did stay in this country?
His half brother, Passion and Glory, who obviously I've been associated with, handles it very well. So and Kameko didn't really race on slow conditions, but I'd be very hopeful. He has the action that you try him on it anyway.
You mentioned your fourth timer at Newmarket on Saturday. It was great to get the 100 up for the season, going great guns, of course, in the Jockeys Championship. What was the highlight of the fourth timer? That Mount Tidy looks a nice horse.
Yeah, Mount Tidy is learning, and he's just a little bit of a slow learner. He's always shown a lot of ability. He obviously got beaten on his first two starts, and then at Sandown, I felt he just never let down. I made the running on him, and he was a little bit babyish still. But at Newmarket the other day on fast ground, he was always comfortable, and it was great. Yeah, it's my fastest ever 100, I think, in the championship season. So it's nice to get there.
Yeah, going great guns, and some nice rides at Newbury on Saturday as well. Let's just spin through those, Shane, to finish the video with. And you're on Kikkuli again in the Group 2 Hungerford Stakes. Have you sat on him since he raced at Deauville?
Yeah, I rode him last week at Kempton, and he felt super. He didn't do any hard work, but he's a quality horse. This is a tough assignment, very competitive Group 2, as you'd expect. It'd be interesting to see how the field takes shape. But hopefully, if I can get Kikkuli to travel and relax, not over race, he's a horse that we haven't seen the best of yet.
And just going through your other rides at Newbury, the big board, the King Power filly for Richard Hannon, she looks back in good form.
Yeah, she's reasonably handicapped now as well, which is the key. She's come down to a mark that I think she can hopefully be very competitive off of. She's a tough filly, has loads of experience. She has quite a bit of weight to shoulder, and she's not very big, but it's the right race for her.
And Zuzanna in the 3 o'clock for Harry Charlton, another filly in the 7 furlong handicap.
Yeah, I haven't been great on her a few times this year. Got stuck in traffic at Newbury and at Newmarket one day. I was out of my ground. She ran really well at Ascot on her last start when things went a bit better for her, but I felt I should have stayed in rather than coming out into space. And this is a higher grade of race than she's used to, but if things fall right for her, she has a lot of ability, and I hope she can have a decent day in the sun sooner rather than later.
What can you tell us about this Havana Whisper, a newcomer, a colt for Andrew Balding?
Yeah, not a lot. I haven't ridden him and I haven't worked alongside him. Andrew's going to have a lot of 2-year-olds to come out now, and it'll just be about running them, and hopefully some of them stand out and aren't too babyish, and then others are going to need their first run. And I'm not sure which category this fella will fall into.
Yeah, he was saying, Andrew, on Racing TV the other day when New Century won that, he might be the best of his, but he might not be. So obviously there's still some good ones to come out.
Oh, there are, and there are a lot of fillies there that that have just been slowly because they've been growing, and listen, in that particular area where New Century lives, there are 7 colts, and they're all above average. Jouncey is there. Jouncey, the fella that ran yesterday, Gallant. There's just it's nice to have that sort of quality in the yard, but they weren't early types, and they haven't been pressed yet. So hopefully those rewards for being patient will be reaped as the year goes on.
Yeah, nice, exciting crop of youngsters coming through. Just your final 2 rides at Newbury. Loukater for David Manoussier.
Again, a horse that's got ability, not always that straightforward. He's a lovely character, but David and I have felt he should have won more races than he has done. He will be fine at Newbury, and if we don't get much rain, I'm not that concerned either, although he is a son of New Bay. So a little bit of juice in the ground would be no problem. I think he's fairly handicapped, and I hope he's going to end the year with a higher rating.
And finally, Chalabah for Andrew again, a Kingman colt, another stepping up in trip.
Yeah, T'Challa should enjoy the stepping up in distance, although he has a big knee action. I actually think he wants fast ground. I won on him at Windsor, and he's a big fella that is going to improve with time. You have to think he's fairly treated, Ben. If you saw the size of him, what he's achieved already, he's literally 17 hands and a bit of a shell. So, I'm optimistic about him.
Excellent. Nice book of rides at Newbury Saturday. What's your best chance of a winner Saturday, do you think?
Probably the filly, the big board. She's not big, but she's reasonably handicapped, and she's tough. And the reason she has 9 stone 10 is because she's one of the highest rated in the field. And I always feel like I used to know the stats on this, but the top third of it's probably still pretty accurate. The top 33% of the weights in the handicap, so the highest weights, won 66% of all handicaps. And, that just goes to show if you have a 9-runner field and you only look at the numbers 1, 2, and 3, every single time, one of those 3 are going to win 2/3 of the time.
Yeah, class can certainly tell in those races. Thanks a lot, Oisin. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Ben.